Well, a very warm welcome to you all here at Follow Everton. Good evening. I'm Ryan. I'm the channel founder, and I'm here to talk about Everton versus Burnley. Please let me know how this sounds. I'm in quite an echoey room at the moment, so if it isn't palatable, I'm happy to move next door. Although I'm currently living in somewhat of a building site, so we may not have anywhere else to go. But I'm here to talk about Burnley anyway. You know what? I'm actually going to move. It's too echoey. Give me. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not really practical at the moment for me to doing streams because I currently don't really have anywhere to do them. But I'm conscious we need to get something out for the Burnley game, and we're a little bit short of numbers at the moment. So here I am. Let me know how that sounds. I've got a new headset and our new computer, so it should be all working much better than it has done on previous streams. So Everton are currently on their longest ever winless run, unfortunately. Um, it seems like it never is going to end. Of course, again on Tuesday night we had the 1-1 draw, which against Newcastle is a good result in isolation. In the wider context, you could still say it's a good result, but of course, it's infuriating that Everton still can't get that win. Aside they've already beaten this at home this season, and aside they beat convincingly at home and injury ravaged. And before that, of course, we lost ridiculously so to a very poor Bournemouth team who we also beat um, at home this season very convincingly. And Burnley is another team we've beaten not once but twice. Once in the League Cup, I believe, or the FA Cup first round. It was one of the two. And also away from home in the Premier League with, I believe, Michael Keane scoring a very good goal. And incidentally, that was the last time Everton won a game away at Burnley. It is scandalous that we are sat here now in April 2024 without having won a game since before Christmas. So there's definitely something not quite right with what's going on for Everton at the moment. And I'm just looking at the upcoming fixtures, and I think if we beat Burnley, we're in a really strong position for that run in. But if we lose to Burnley, I don't really see Burnley as a threat. I don't think Burnley are going to be able to stay up this season, no matter whether they beat us. I don't think they'll be able to put on quite a run in these last 8 games to stay up. But part of my fear is about giving points to teams that are our direct rivals. I actually don't think Burnley is a direct rival. I can't see them getting out of it. The Chelsea game after that, also not a direct rival, but it's that Forest, that Brentford, and that Luton game, and not Sheffield, Arsenal, or Liverpool, but the Forest, Brentford, and Luton game where we can't really afford to lose because you're giving a helping hand to the teams who you're competing with. But I don't think that's the case against Burnley. I think we've got to go and change the mentality in this game, because if you look at some of the recent matches, Everton have changed from their previously successful high press, very aggressive system to this quite passive system where we neither press as a group nor drop off and really cause teams problems with the press or with the low block. So I don't quite know what we're doing. Burnley are a team that are absolutely going to sit behind the ball and try and disrupt Everton and hit us on the counter. And we seem to really struggle against teams when the impetus is on us to break the opposition down. So in this particular game, I will go through the injuries in a moment, but the emphasis is going to be on how Everton can break Burnley down, but also stay secure at the back and not leave themselves exposed and vulnerable on the counter attack. So let me know in the comments what you think, how we could go about doing that, and what your team selection would be for this particular game. Now, I did watch Sean Dyche's press conference, unfortunately, earlier today, and it is the same sort of drivel that we're being served up pretty much every press conference, to the point where you don't really want to watch them anymore. He said he's got respect for Burnley, of course. He said, but we need a win. He said the 1-1 draw has given us a bit of a boost. He said Everton at home, yes, the record is horrendous. He can't find the balance between the home and away form. Of course, away from home, we're not losing a lot of games, but we are picking up the odd point here and there. But it's not quite the same as it was earlier in the season. Whereas we've only won 3 Premier League games at home all year, which is embarrassing. Um, and I don't think Sean Dyche is quite aware of the how bad the situation is for Everton because, the goal at Bournemouth that we did score was from a calamity from the goalkeeper. The same at Newcastle, that was a complete, calamity from Dummett as well at centre back for Newcastle, giving us the penalty. So we're not creating anything from open play, and I don't think he quite realises that at home, the Everton fans demand a lot of creation and to stop the opposition really imposing themselves. So, he talked about earlier in the season when we did do that, we played really well against Fulham and Wolves. We created chance after chance after chance after chance and couldn't score. But now in the recent home games, we're not really creating the clear-cut chances. Um, we do create a lot of chances, but I don't think they're genuine, really easy goal-scoring opportunities all the time. Some of them are. But I'm not trying to defend the strikers. They should be doing a lot better. But so should the manager. And it all comes down to the team selection, which for me against Newcastle was wrong. I don't know how you can play the 3 players who are fasting and dehydrated from the start. I just don't get that. I think you should play players who are fresh and can run and not the 3 who were, dehydrated and fasting. I wonder what he'll do at the Saturday game for the 3 o'clock kickoff. Um, he also talked about, he said Danjuma is back on the grass, but he's not ready. Um, don't really know about the others. I don't think Dele Alli will come back. Probably will come back when there's 7 games left, which is the game after this, because then we won't have to pay Spurs any money. Absolutely ridiculous. But it was more of the same stuff from Sean Dyche. There wasn't really anything worth talking about in particular. That was very interesting. He said, obviously, we need to find a balance and win some games at home. And he did cite, that he's got over 1,000 games experience, him and his coaching staff, 300 in the Premier League and 100 elsewhere. So he's very experienced and he knows how to handle this situation. I personally am feeling underwhelmed at the moment, frustrated, angry, pissed off, for want of a better word, with Dyche and with the players. I think the players are more than good enough to not be in this mess. You've got international fullbacks, centre halves making, getting called up to the England squad, England's goalkeeper, Belgium's central midfielder. You've got players with pedigree and quality, and he just can't seem to find a way to get them playing well. Now, when we were winning games, we were pushed up really high on opposition. We stopped them playing out and through us, and we used to win the ball back high up the pitch and punish them in transition. We've stopped doing that. We were good at set pieces. We're still okay at set pieces, but I think we can do more. Defensively, we were just so good in our shape. I think we're now conceding stupid and soft goals. So there's a lot to work on in this game, and Burnley are going to sit behind the ball and make life difficult for Everton. They've got a few injuries themselves, as you'd expect. One of them is Aaron Ramsey. He's out till November. You've got Nathan Redmond. He's out at the moment. Luca Colascio, Jordan Bayer, Amim Al-Dakil, and Lorenz Azington. These to me, without this being disrespectful, sound like players named that have been made up on the spot. I've not heard of any of these, nor do I really care to go and study them. But I think that says it all, that these aren't household names, these players. And we should have more than enough to beat Burnley because we've already done that twice this season. Burnley's recent records, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm currently lying on the floor. I literally have nowhere to do this stream. Burnley Wolves was a draw. I'm going to have to move. I'm sorry. Bear with me one sec. It's just too uncomfortable. Yeah, sorry about that. I've just moved. Burnley have drawn with Wolves in the last game. They drew with Chelsea. I mean, they're 2 good results, really. Probably games they weren't expected to get anything from. And they beat Brentford, who had 10 men. And they drew with West Ham. So, I mean, these are decent results, but I wonder whether it's a little bit too late for them to kind of put something together. And of course, before that, there was some bad losses at home to Bournemouth, Palace, Arsenal, Liverpool, draw with Fulham, lost to City, draw with Luton. It's too little, too late for them, I'm afraid. And Paul was saying Burnley will be desperate for points, but Everton victory will be great. Keep the faith. We will. Eugene says, get your score predictions in. He's going for 4-1, a Beto hat-trick. I think we certainly got the ability to go and cause Burnley a hell of a lot of problems and beat them convincingly. And that's what David wants. He wants a confident win. I'll just take any win at this moment. Now, in terms of my team selection and tactics, well, because Burnley will try and play on the counter-attack in this particular game, because at the start of the season they were trying to play on the front foot and getting exposed. They're now a little bit more counter-attacking. What can Everton do? Well, I would bring in Andre Gomez. I just think you have to have that player who can unlock the defense for Everton. I think he's shown in his little appearances that he's got the technical ability to cause something and make something happen. Whereas I think if we go with the Onana, Decore, and James Garner or Amadou Onana, just a Garner gate, I just think it's going to be more of the same because we've been playing two very defensive fullbacks, two number sixes, and then your wingers are terrible. I mean, Ashley Young and Dwight McNeil have been really poor. So where is the goals coming from? Where is the threat coming from? If you've got nothing from fullback and you've got nothing from the wingers and nothing from the middle, you know, where are the goals coming from? So for me, shoehorn Andre Gomez into the team. I don't care where. Maybe plays on the right-hand side and just plays off that right. And on behind him, Seamus Coleman or Patterson just to provide that width and allow Gomez to drift in. He only needs to be on that side for when we're out of possession. I just think you have to have players who can cross, who can make things happen. He's not a right winger, but I think Sean Dyche is going to persist with that midfield three. He won't drop Decore because he's got a goal in him. And then is Gomez good enough to play deep? Actually, you know what? I don't see why you couldn't play Andre Gomez as the 8 alongside James Garner and have Decore ahead of them. Why do we need Onana? Why do we need Garner at home to Burnley with two defensive fullbacks as well? Unless we are bringing in Nathan Patterson or Seamus Coleman. Ooh, I think it's time to drop Ben Godfrey. I don't see the need to have him in this game. I would bring in Patterson at right back. I'd keep it Branthwaite and Tarkowski at centre half. Both of them have got to do better than they did against Newcastle and Bournemouth. At left back, Mikolenko, another one who needs to do better and impose himself more in the game. There is a temptation to go to 5 at the back and put McNeil wing back, but I think stick with the 4 here. And that midfield 3, Andre Gomez, James Garner, and Decore. Out wide, struggling for options. Ashley Young, I know Dave Weston gave him praise, but for me, no. He won the penalty, he was manhandled, but he didn't do it through skill and trying to dribble past someone and getting chopped down. Didn't do anything the whole game. And Dwight McNeil looking anonymous week in, week out. Had a brief spell where he did quite well, but is now not scoring or making assists. And the Beto Calvert-Lewin conundrum, he's going to go with Calvert-Lewin purely on the penalty. But I think Beto has the edge. I think he's got more physique. I think he's got more pace. I think he's more unpredictable. I think he can beat someone 1v1. His finishing is erratic, but he needs games. There's no way you can do this without giving him games. 1,000 minutes he's played this season. He's got maybe 5 goals in all competitions and 2 assists. It's not terrible. Give him a run. I think he's going to be quality next season. There is an argument you could go 4-4-2 and play Calvert-Lewin and Beto, but where is the link? You've got to have creativity. It's got to come from fullback, out wide, or in the number 10 position. So he's got a lot to decide. There's calls for Patterson to start or Coleman, calls for Andre Gomez to start, calls for James Garner, and then you've got your problem out wide. I don't want to see Jack Harrison in an Everton team, but I think he's better than Ashley Young. What the hell do you do out wide? Danjuma would be a complete shoe-in to play. Is there any other solution to that option on the right wing? I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I'm really struggling. The team that I think he'll go with will be DCL, Harrison, McNeil, Decore, Onana, James Garner, and Mikolenko, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, and Seamus Coleman or Ben Godfrey. And the team that I want to see Mikalenko, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Patterson. Okay. Um, and then I want to see James Garner and Andre Gomez, Decore. I don't want to see Jack Harrison, but I don't have much of a choice. Beto and Dwight McNeil. And with a clear objective, Andre Gomez has to link the play, put people in better positions to cross the ball rather than taking this early cross, get Burnley facing their own goal and running back to their own goal, win the ball higher up the pitch and turn them over on transition, make it horrible for them from set pieces as well. Stay secure when we go forward so they can't counterattack us. Make sure we've still got enough players back, whether that's Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and James Garner as the four to be solid and for the counterattacks. Eugene is saying of resting McNeil, but I don't see if there's any alternative, unfortunately. Breaking down Burnley is going to be difficult, but cross from Beto areas, try and slip Beto in 1v1, be more aggressive, play with more tempo. And I think Everton will be more than comfortable because they're the things that have dropped off. The tempo's dropped, the aggression's dropped, the pressing's dropped, and that's why we're on such a bad run and the finishing is still poor. So my prediction is an Everton 1-0 win. I'd like to see it more convincing. I'm sure we'll have more coverage on this from our two Everton Dars, Robbie and Wes, on Saturday ahead of the game. I'm still up in the air at the moment. Fortunately, don't have a studio, but I hope this microphone sounds good. Give us a thumbs up if you've been happy with the sound and the stream quality. Let me know in the comments. But as soon as I'm back in a proper studio, I'll be able to help a little bit more with different things. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care.